evening, Stoop crew out there. It is, just in case you didn't hear the first time, what is going on here?
Looks
Not
good to
really
me.
sure what that. I'm not sure what happened there, but anyway, good evening, Stoop crew. It is me, Spawny Mark, filling in for Lolo, who's somewhere between Paris, Boston, and Brooklyn. He may or may not be joining us tonight, so I am here for another exciting happy hour. It's been a couple of weeks. We've both been very, very busy with just lives in general. But we are here, and we've got Anders here, we've got Brenner's Ghost, and we have John LUFC Garside all here, all ready to talk about the man. We're going to talk about VAR for certain. Someone had said that I've been howling at the moon. I've been howling at the moon for weeks. But first off, I'd like to just give everybody a happy hour cheers. I've already poured my beer. There's John. He's going to crack one open. He's got what I used to call as a kid Kurs. For you normals, you would say Coors, but out west we say Kurs.
It's the big boy.
Have a cold one. So this is to you, John.
Haven't seen you guys
back.
in a while.
It's been a while.
Woohoo! Oh man, this is a 24-ounce.
Lord, that tastes so good. I am enjoying a Keg and Lantern Golden Hour, a lovely Pilsner, the official soft drink of the Stoop.
Isn't that a Cantac drink?
That is indeed a beer that Mr. Cantac used to rep. I did try to see if Matt would be interested in being on the show tonight, but he said that he was hunting, baby. And I wonder, what kind of permit do you need to hunt baby? You know, is there a limit? Is there a limit of baby that you can hunt? And do you only hunt the girls, the females? You know, you only hunt the males. You need a special license for the girls, for the females. So I don't know who's joining me here tonight. We've had some maybes and some not so maybes. But you know, while Cantac is out hunting the babies, I am here to just talk amongst myself. We have a lot of football to talk about, but first, I kind of want to. I ran across something in the news today, and I don't know how many of you. You know, what side of the pond you're on, if you follow American politics, whatnot. I know I barely do. But the House of Representatives has a new speaker. His name is, there he is. His name is Mike Johnson. He's from Louisiana. And recently it has come out that he and his son is his accountability partner, to monitor how much porn they watch. I know many parents bond with their sons through maybe sports or music or something, but this is the first time that I've actually heard that they're bonding over porn. You know, that's kind of crazy. You know, it's like, hey, Dad, I've been noticing that you've been watching a little too much of Busty Clowns Visit the Animal Farm. Can I have the link?
How do you know that title?
I'm just making shit up as I go along, much like most of the show will be. It will be made up on the fly. That is just a fantasy. It's like watching gay midget kitty porn, I guess. I have no idea. But what if Mr. Johnson is watching football and something like this comes on? John, can we Yes, that's right. That's porn in the USA. That's actually from Ben's porn collection. He sent that over today, and that is always, it's a very good watch. The name of the app, for those that are interested, and it's kind of creepy that there's an application on your phone that monitors your porn usage. But the name of the app is Coventry Eyes, which I think a better title would have been like Cover Your Eyes. I don't know. I got nothing more than that. But indeed, very, very creepy. So what else have I seen in the news? Not a whole lot more. So I guess we'll just jump right into to the football talk. And I know people are going to be like, oh, I barely care about that match and I barely care about that situation. But since I don't want to talk just to myself and to just the airspace out there, and so I need someone to join me here. So if we could bring in our first guest, you know him, you love him. He's the madman of betting in the dark. We have Mr. Tom. Mr. Tom, how you doing? It's been a few weeks. Good to see
Hello.
you. How's things been?
It's been tiring, I tell you, but get a bit of energy into it, yeah. So it's been wonderful, all right? But
fantastic.
How are you?
I've been well, rolling with the punches. Very excited to be back. It's like I said, it's been a few weeks, filled with all sorts of football talk. I was just starting with talking about reading in the news, football related. Across in my feed came something from BBC, and BBC said that the Spurs Chelsea match was one of the greatest matches in a very long time. Now, I want to ask you, is that true or false?
Well, what I was wondering is how you've gone from Ronnie getting himself a happy ending to talking about BBC. Like, what the hell? What show did I click the link for?
I have no idea. I was just filling time with a joke before you came on. I had to do something, I had to do something there. Anyway, we've got Anders is saying come to Sweden, and we always talk about porn. I've kind of heard that some of that Swedish porn, and along with it's very comparable with German porn, that it's very, very, very blue, more so than others. I don't really know. Bremners wants to know if Mike Johnson ever went to Epstein Island. Hey, we can talk porn on a football show. Why not?
Nothing better to do at the moment. So
Ronnie the rapist getting a happy ending. I couldn't even tell if that was Ronnie. I don't know how long ago. All I know is that is from Mr. Ben's very
I think the physio knows if it's Ronnie. I think he knows Ronnie very well at this point.
I think Finger the Duck would like to know if it was Ronnie.
Oh, Finger the Duck, he knows everything. He won't tell me, but he knows everything.
He knows all, says nothing. Anyway, back to I want to go back to the original question that started.
Yeah, sorry, you had a serious question, didn't you?
I really want I've read this and I really wonder, was it a great match? Did you see it, Mr. Tom?
It's actually statistically the match in the last 2 years where the ball has been in play the least due to all the stoppages.
Yeah.
So I think, I can't remember the exact number, but I read that it definitely is. So I think it's fairer to say it's a great match in terms of like the eventfulness of it. I mean, 5 goals were disallowed, 5 goals were scored. So it's eventful, but
yes, definitely.
To say good.
Yeah. Yeah, you see, that's where I'm at. In fact, I stopped watching after the first half because VAR just kept intervening, and it would be just like 5 minutes to find out if somebody was offsides, 5 minutes to find out what color card they were going to give Romero, and it got so... If there's ever a time that we can use an example that VAR is completely ruining the game, I think we can point to Spurs Chelsea in this one. Just because I really believe that they just don't know how to call it. You know, in along those lines, Bremer Go says he watched the highlights and it wasn't that good. And he also says more about shitty rules than about football. And then Bono gives you a rock on Leeds beating Leicester, which it was definitely if there was ever a time to be a rock on, because I think Jersey Chris was like, thinking that Leicester was going to run the table. But yeah, this was definitely a case of, a potentially good football game being ruined by poor officiating. And I think you've said it before on the show, and I know a lot of people have said it either in the comments or on Twitter or Facebook or whatever social media that they're on, is that week in and week out officiating just keeps getting worse. Thoughts?
It feels like my issue with it is it's all reactive. Like it seems like the rules aren't fit for purpose because there's always something new happening where they don't know what to do. And then they react after the fact, like, oh yeah, we'll change that. It's like, but what happens for next week when something slightly different happens? Mm-hmm. But you still don't know what to do in that situation. And the thing that annoys me most about it, and I've probably said it 100 times before, apologise if that's the case, but I don't like how it's supposed to be clear and obvious errors, and then they spend 5 minutes looking at it. So it's not that clear and obvious.
Yeah.
If you need to look through it with a microscope, just go with what the ref initially called.
Right. Sometimes I think that VAR has it already set in their mind of what they want to call, and then they just go camera angle after camera angle and slow it down, bring out the grid so they can justify what they believe has happened because they're watching it in real time as well. There we go. Bremer's Ghost says used to be the ref's decision was final and without ref. There was no match with VAR. There's no respect for the officials. I don't know. I mean, it gets weird. It gets absolutely weird when because we don't always have the same look. Like it'll go to VAR, but we won't be seeing it. It went to VAR and we're passing on. And the public doesn't get to see it in all the different angles that they saw in that. But many people think that they are being hard done by VAR, and one in particular is Mr. Arteta. He has said that he thinks that the league is out to get Arsenal, doesn't want them to win, and is doing everything in their power because they are against the team and the decisions prove otherwise. For more on that, I'd like to bring in one of our resident Arsenal fans, Gary from Don't Waste the Tweet. He's here tonight. Gary, how you doing?
Doing good, Mark. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing as well as a Wolves fan can do around all this chatter around the world about how these big six clubs are not getting the calls. Because if there's any team that should be felt hard done by the officials, it's this badge right here. That badge right there. Because we've received four apologies from the independent panel, PMLOG, whatever, QRST, I have no idea. And it's very disheartening. But it's also very disheartening that the teams that get the notice are your top teams when a call gets missed. What is your thought, Gary, on the fact that Arteta says that the officials in the league are against Arsenal? Because I don't get it.
Did he actually say those words?
I read it I'm not sure which article I read it in. I did kind of see that it was implied in his post-match presser, but then also I had read that he wants to compile a list of grievances that would prove that the league is out to get him, and I don't get it. Tom's got something to say.
He's gonna tell me something I've heard like 100 times. Go on, tell me which one is it.
I guarantee you've not heard this 100 times. I bet you've not even heard this twice. So you said a list of grievances. So is he going to deliver that list on December 23rd? On Festivus?
I think
my favourite episode of the Stoop.
Michelob Armada, if you're listening, please issue that list of grievances to us by the 23rd. We'll read them here on the air.
In general, I think everybody knows everybody's getting screwed by VAR. So, and they don't care. They don't care. So at some point, the team should care, and that's why it needs to start with somebody. I don't care who it is. Liverpool seemed like they started to have a little, push a little bit of information out there. But in general, I think all teams should be doing that because it's screwing up their sport. Everybody, not one person has not been affected by it. And okay, I get their mistakes, but they don't want to fix it. I think that's the problem, right?
There you go.
Okay.
That's our advertisement for our December 23rd show, where we will be previewing a Chelsea Wolves match being played on Christmas Eve, I guess, and then that will be my grievance that I will be airing.
Is that the only game on Christmas Eve?
I think it's the first time in like something like 15 years or something.
You know what? I think that's like the worst thing. That's like saying, you know what? Dallas Cowboys, you're not going to play on Thanksgiving because guess what? We know that the ratings say you play much better if you play the Sunday night game. So guess what? No more Thursday night games for you because you can make more. We can make more money for you and for us on Sunday. That's kind of what's happening with that because it's always been Boxing Day, right?
I thought
Nobody wants to watch the Cowboys.
Yes, yeah, there are a few of us that do.
Mr. Tom, you had said that no, this is not the first time.
No, the only Premier League game to ever take place on Christmas Eve until 2023 was Leeds beating Manchester United 3-1.
Ah, the legendary one. That I think I mentioned that in one of our chats not too long ago. Anyway, so Mr. Arteta, please supply us with those list of grievances. I'm not really sure. I mean, I guess you could say that the goal, the three different ways of looking at whether or not was it Anthony Gordon who scored against Arsenal over the weekend?
Yep.
Or that kind of very, very questionable goal. I can see him feeling hard done by that and saying that the officials might have something out for him. But, I mean, on the same note, Newcastle could argue that Kai Havertz should have been sent off.
You know what? Nobody disagrees with that. The only problem is there's no consistency. So that's why it's a problem. So, are you going to choose all of everything? You're going to pick everything that goes against your team? It doesn't make any sense. People would think you were stupid if you went out there and say, you know what? All these things happened and we got away with it. So let's fix that. No, you're not going to go with that because those don't have any bearing. It makes no sense to do that. You wouldn't do that, right?
Yeah,
so you would go with the ones that affect you negatively because those are the ones that everybody really cares about. So yes, if Newcastle wants to go and say, you know what, that should have been a red, they should, right? Because when he made that slide, I was sitting there like, you idiot, right? That's what I said. A lot of people.
I think a lot of people did.
A lot of people on the Arsenal side were like, I'm glad to see him get in there, stick his foot in there, and I'm like, so this is the time that he's going to show up when it's potential red. Mm-hmm. How about you just make a crisp pass, maybe attack a ball in the air, a cross coming through? How about you go in one of those? Once you show us something, show us a little bit of a little bit about yourself when that happens, right? So that's where I am. Everybody's like, that's his best game ever. I'm like, dude, are you serious? He tried to get red cards all day.
I have yet to see a Kai Havertz best game yet.
That was it. You missed it.
know,
Everybody saw it.
I really don't get it. Tom, any thoughts on Kai Havertz and his game? I don't even think Kai Havertz has thoughts of his game.
Well, I will say Kai Havertz just strikes me as a very divisive player, as in there are Arsenal fans. I believe I did say this to Gary on Sunday on the show he did, but I think there are Arsenal fans that no matter what he does realistically, they don't want him at the club because of the fact that he's Chelsea. Just from what I see, like I could be entirely wrong. I don't think I am, but I could be. But there are people that genuinely want to give the man a chance. But even I think those individuals are having their patience tested by the fact that oh, sorry.
What show were you talking about? That Gary did a version of his show, The Trip, on Sunday because the Arsenal fan circle. Oh, this show?
It's true. I especially like the caption because I do say that.
You know what? And that's the fact that he put that out there. You know what, John? I thought we were friends. I know where we stand now. It's my show, but you got to put his face on it. And Mr. John, don't say, "Hey, look, you get your cred." All right.
Director John has no allegiance.
I know. Well, no, he's got allegiance. Yeah.
No, he's loyal to chaos only.
Yes, he likes madness and nonsense and all that stuff.
But I'm gonna poke the bear here for a little bit because I was really kind of taken aback by the idea that Arsenal feels that they are hard done by officiating because it doesn't make sense to me. And there's a couple of statistics out there that I'm gonna throw out there and say that why the statement is false that the officials are against Arsenal. Arsenal is the least yellow carded team. And not by a little. They have received 16 yellow cards this season. In contrast, my Wolves have been yellow carded 47 times. And the second statistic I want to throw out there is that Arsenal has received 6 penalties. They've been given 6 penalty opportunities to score freebies. That's twice as many as the next one down the line. It doesn't seem to me that because those statistics in themselves tell me there's no way that the officials are out to get Arsenal.
If that's all you're going to use, then that's good for you. But we see differently on the field. We saw it last season. We saw live. Are they trying to redeem themselves from last season because they took a lot of points off the board for us last season, made us lose opportunities to win in games there. So I don't know. This season, same thing. So no, I know we're getting more penalties, but I think that last season we only got 3. So this season we got 6. I think it just happens to be the way things go this season. Things are different each season. So I don't know about that. I don't know about that at all. So, and like I said, this isn't just an Arsenal thing. It just happens to be we're the next team up that's got pissed off enough to say they want to chat about it. And I've said it since day one. Until all of the teams stand up and say, no, we're paying you guys. We're the reason why you guys have a job. Do right or get out. So yes, screw you. Whatever your name is. You're putting all these words of other people in my trying to put it in my mouth, and that's not what I've said.
He's not done that at all.
No, he's all you Arsenal fans. Yeah. That's what he said. That's what he said.
What?
Yeah.
Mark, can you send those statistics to my secretary because they're always nice to have in the back pocket. But Jen, I don't expect you to have this to hand, but I'd be interested to know who the second least yellow carded team were to see what the disparity was between them.
I do believe it is. I believe it is Man City, but I think Man City has like 21.
Right.
So it's not too far off. But Arsenal only having 16, and it's just saying, well, the officials are against us. It seems like that in itself. I mean, it's kind of. I don't know. It just to watch it rise as you go down the list or up the list. It just I don't understand it.
I'd like to defend Arsenal. Okay, I'd like to. I'm going to play devil's advocate.
What have you done to him, Gary?
I'm going to put a smile on Gary's face. Going to defend Arsenal. Until last Saturday, Arsenal were obviously undefeated, so it wouldn't surprise me if the fact that Arsenal have been on the front foot in just generally top teams are mainly attacking. So obviously the defensive players are not going to be in a position to be under pressure as much to make the tackles and get themselves booked. So, and that's proven further by the fact you said second is Manchester City, who they might be top now. I don't know. I don't look at the Premier League table, but my point being is that it's not that surprising to me that Arsenal are one of the least carded, or
you know what? So what does this mean? Luton and Bournemouth are tied with Arsenal for the same number of yellow cards. It means absolutely nothing. It's just
Luton
happens
and Bournemouth. Luton and Bournemouth are not making the claim that the officials are out to get them.
I don't know about that. Like I said, I don't remember hearing him say it. So as far as I'm concerned, it didn't happen.
Was a benefit on a poor officiating call against my team, against my squad. That there was an apology given to Wolves, going, oh well, that should not have been called.
Well, I did see the penalty at Sheffield United. That was atrocious.
It was garbage. And it was the exact same call and the exact same faux penalty as the week before that they apologized against
Arsenal's played in 3 games where an opponent should have probably got a red card easily from their actions, and they didn't get it. They barely got a yellow. Just saw it in the Newcastle game. We saw it in the Manchester City game, right? And we saw it in the which other game? It's the 3rd game. I can't remember it now, but yeah. They should have, So sometimes, when you say you're getting hard done by, sometimes it's by the non-action as well. So, I mean, when you put your hands to somebody's neck 3 times and then give somebody I'm sorry, not an elbow, but a forearm to the head, and you get only 1 yell out of that. Yeah, there's something going on there that doesn't sound right.
Sounds familiar. What? Who are you referring to, Gary?
You know what? Shut up with your nonsense. I don't want to hear it.
No, I'm not. No. I'm remembering someone grabbing someone's neck, but I can't picture who it was.
It happened in the Newcastle game. Bruno Grimage.
Yeah, but
if you can do that in a game, then what's the point of having any rules? You know what I mean?
That would be so cool.
Yeah. I want to be able to agree with you, but I there's a part of me that looks at something like that and is like, that isn't like as game changing of a call.
It is game changing as a call, because if you can do that,
because you didn't quite get what you needed, because you didn't quite get what you wanted.
But that somebody goes and loses their mind on the pitch, they should get penalized for it. Right?
Sure.
Because guess what you're doing? You are intimidating the other team, and they know they can keep doing it. So then they keep doing it. And then they get in your head, and you respond. And if you do respond in kind, and then you end up with the red, then you're like, what's going on here?
Well, it obviously in that particular
you shouldn't be able to do that on a pitch, is all I got to say. It's not part of the game either.
I guess what I'm saying is that it went, at least in that particular situation, as far as being rough and having calls that should have been made and you should have been off the pitch, at least in that part, it was consistent for both sides.
We'll never know.
Because for as much as Grimage should have been sent off,
one was part of the game. The other one had nothing to do with the game at all. The man ran from one side of the pitch to the other side, and then ran over Jorginho, and nothing was given. So to try to tell me like one is like just a terrible tackle, and the other one had no ball at all, and then say they're equal. Nah, come on, stop that.
I'm not saying that it was equal. What I'm saying is the calls on the pitch were equal. Both players should have been sent off, and both players weren't. It wasn't like one got sent off and then the other didn't get sent off.
This is true. This comment's true.
This comment from the Mr. Arsenal podcast, instead of all this point scoring and digging out Arsenal,
that's the first thing I said, isn't it? I already said that, Ryan. It's the first thing I said. I said stop with. I don't agree with the whole PGMOL sucks. They're terrible. They don't do their job right, and they don't want to fix it. That's what I've been saying the whole time. You don't want to listen to that. You want to get on your whole Arsenal thing when you know it's not an Arsenal problem. It's a PGMO problem. It's affecting every team, yours included. All right, everybody's getting screwed over by some people. Yeah,
it's the pygmies that are screwing things up.
I never said pygmies.
It is the pygmies. Oh, well, obviously a touchy subject, and that's why I wanted to make it a subject, because I did indeed.
Yeah, you just tried to.
I did. I want to poke the bear.
But it's not going to happen.
It pisses me off because all these top teams, when it happened to Liverpool a few weeks ago, and it happened to Arsenal, and it's making the papers worldwide. You're hearing about,
right.
Klopp wanting the game being replayed, and you wanted, and Arsenal is going to show the world that how the refs are against them. But, when it happens to Wolves, it's like, whatever. Sorry about that.
You guys can decide
sorry
to
about
talk
that
if you want to, but you're not doing that.
What could we do? What can we do? We're a
small
club who is having points robbed from us week in
so you're just
and
gonna
week out.
You're just going to stand pat and not say a thing.
Don't let the right thing.
We're already saying things, and we're getting what are the results? We're getting these apologies. That and $250 will get me a ride on the train.
And we don't want apologies, right? We want them to fix the problem.
It's $290.
Jesus Christ! $290. What?
What's $290?
The train.
What? A single journey?
A single journey in New York City.
That's absurd.
It is absurd, but but then also so is paying $5,000 for a 1-bedroom. Not that I pay that, but you see that. You see those. To our Scooby-Doo says, right on Spawny, they don't give a shit until it's a big club. Kevin Jessup says, once again, excuses because Arsenal won't win the league unusually early. I actually think in comparison to last season, I have more belief that Arsenal might win the league this year than they did last year, because a strong early start always in any sport always fades at the end. The strong early horse always fades in the end. You wait your time, you come on strong at the end, and that's what Arsenal fans are going to hope for this season. I think with what went down in the Spurs match against Chelsea certainly drops them out from top 4 contention. They've lost James Maddison till January. They've lost Van de Veer, who's been fantastic as a center back for them. He is, like, we talk about James Maddison being a great signing. This Van de Veer kid is amazing. Udogie, who's been amazing, he's out for a game. And then who's the other far winger? Pedro Pero. He was limping around toward the end. He may be out for that match. And then not to mention the Romero being out for the next 3. This is a team that is going to have some serious problems heading into, and it's going to open things up for other teams, Arsenal included.
I'm going to lose sleep over that.
Yeah.
No one is losing.
Nobody
is losing sleep.
Hey, you know what? Some of that they created most of that nonsense themselves. All right, they created most of that nonsense themselves. All right. Outside of the injury, I think the injury to Van der Meer and Maddison, that's just part of the game, and it probably was going to happen anyways. I think people think Maddison's injury prone anyways. So, but the other parts to it, and I think what pressed the team and probably put a lot of pressure on them is going down to 9 men, and that going down to 9 men had absolutely nothing to do with like being unlucky. They created the mess, and and it's all on them. So, like, it's hard to be sorry for them for those reasons. The other stuff, yes. It happens in football, and you just have to have depth, and we already know that. So, no, we laugh at it, and it's funny because it is. So, what are you going to do? You know, Arsenal's gone through it with injuries and, you know, for whatever reasons, and people said, you know, you have to deal with it. You got to have a deep squad if you're going to play in this league, if you're going to compete with City. If you don't have the numbers, it doesn't matter, right? Every team's, we found that out last season, didn't have the numbers, and you lose a couple of players and then you're down, right?
Yeah.
And you struggle. So, yeah, no, it was fun. You know what? The fact that they even had a chance to score, you know, that second goal, I think that's when, as a manager, you have to set your team up to win, and he did not do that. He looked at the game and said, "You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to push these guys just like I have 11." And I think, like, are you kidding me? You were getting opportunities without having to do a lot of that. So why would you change it up and put more pressure on your team who's down 2 men? It makes no sense. They probably would have scored. They probably would have scored that second goal if they had just stayed pat and been a little bit more compact and pushed things back and put a little bit more, you know, defense on their side of the field.
Well, to be fair, that second goal, you know, that went to VAR, and that was like a serious hairline. You know, it could have gone either way.
But you know what? That is not subjective, right?
Yeah.
It's all science. They put some lines on a screen and they do it, and you have to say that that's not something. Well, this or that. No, it's.
I guess you could ask that to Klopp in that Liverpool game.
That is
whether
or
not that was subjective. You know,
no. But if subjective was, they didn't actually decide to draw the line. That's a little different.
I'm just saying.
It's not the same as when they put the lines down. Once the lines go down, you really can't trick anybody. All right. Can't fool anybody with that.
To answer the question that Mr. Arsenal podcast, I don't know you by name, so I'm just going to refer to you by that. But what other team goes down to 9 men? What other team goes down to 9 men and goes high press against the opposition, thinking that something positive would come from it? Something almost did positive come from it, if that's even an English statement, or English language statement. But more importantly, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with the way they continued to play, but that's the way that team plays.
But you know what?
The fact that they stuck with that game plan with 9 is to me more that it's less of an error and more of just, wow, that's fucking ballsy. You know, it shows me, hey, we're sticking to the game plan. Fuck it.
I think it's crazy, and I think the team would have been fine doing exactly what most teams would have done in that situation. That's how, I mean, we never knew. You know, they don't usually put that kind of high press on. Usually, right? They usually sit back and hit you on the counter. They've done that all, for the last number of years. They will come. They don't do as much attacking like that, but putting that much pressure on your team.
That's what I've seen this season.
No, this season, yes, but I know most of those players would have been fine to sit back and then counter them, because Son on going against that Chelsea team probably would have been fine. They would have got probably the same number of chances. They would have kept the game close, and they would have been fine. And I think you don't want to kill your team, and he did that out of like, this is what I do, which makes no sense, because when it's almost like some people will say he didn't understand what kind of league he's in. You can't play like that in the Premier League against a team like Chelsea, who is happy to take you. Like, you didn't do your scouting, It's like one of these things. What can Chelsea do? Well, they got a lot of pace on them. So if you give them a lot of space to run into, guess what? You're going to be in trouble. So either he doesn't understand how the league works, or he doesn't understand how Chelsea works, or he doesn't understand how, like, having 2 men less on the field can make a difference. All these things. He's a good football mind, but it didn't work out. So what do it made no sense. Like, at that point, you want to try and get the point, and you have a team to do it. And he took that out of their hands and forced them to try to make do with what they were doing, and it kind of to haunt them. I think he put a lot of pressure on that team, physically, when he didn't need to. Right.
Right. There he is. I am actually surprised that Najee has not been on Happy Hour for a while, but he's a family man, and he's got family things to do. But Najee, if you're out there and you're listening, we miss you. and thought for sure that you would at least beat your chest and crow over your dismantling of a 9-man Spurs squad. Mr. Tom, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I found it quite interesting, the praise that Tottenham got for this performance. Because I recall Leeds getting a lot of side eyes from people about when we would go attacking. Some would say naively, the results, and the league table would also usually say naively. But when Tottenham did it, and because Ange is funny in interviews, it's all like, Tottenham should be praised for their bravery. It's like, you put 7 players on the halfway line. Like,
he was showing the it was ballsy. You know, I really felt it was, but what do I know? I'm just a caveman.
They're top of the league though, and they're trying to. Come on. No. Sorry. I'm not going to praise Tottenham for anything, even if it's worth praising. Just won't do it. It feels dirty.
I've only been watching for a few years, so I don't have that hatred for any squad, I guess. As much as people tell me that I should not watch a certain team because they are that certain team, but I'm a whore. I'll watch anybody. What can I say? Is there, let me ask you guys, are there games, are there matches, are there teams that you absolutely will not watch?
Yeah, I've got a list of about 44 teams that I dislike, okay? All for various reasons and to varying degrees of dislike. So it'd probably be easier if I named the teams that I don't hate. So let's start now.
There you go. This one.
It's just, give us like your top 3 of like, no, I'm not watching them. I don't care who they're playing. They're not playing us. Fuck them. Give us the teams that James would just be like, if it's fuck them.
I'll give you an example. Everyone knows I work in a bookie, and we generally will show live football in the Champions League. If Manchester United are playing, I won't watch it unless I find out they're losing. For example. But generally, my main dislikes are Man United, Chelsea. Some might surprise you. Sheffield Wednesday, Huddersfield, Barnsley, West Ham United, Tottenham, Newcastle United. Basically, all of the big 7, apart from Arsenal and Man City. I don't hate Man City because they upset the apple cart, which amused me. And tack on another 400 charges. I don't care because it upsets everyone that I hate.
Right.
Yeah, in international football, I'm not really a fan of Barcelona because I know there's football seemed tailored to Lionel Messi, and it just struck me the wrong way. Like, I still think football's tailored to Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi won the World Cup 12 months before we won the Ballon d'Or, and then he went and played in America, where defences were literally falling apart to allow him to score, and he wins the Ballon d'Or. Like, are you telling me the only way he wouldn't have won the Ballon d'Or in 2023 is if he actually committed murder?
I think they would probably, that murder would go to VAR and they would look at it and go, well,
they'd consider it.
Gary, how about you?
Yes,
What are teams that you just fuck them? I don't want to watch that shit. I'm sure there's the team that shall not be named.
Well, I'm a hater, so I want to watch for, it's almost like people who watch NASCAR for the car wrecks. That's the only reason why I'm watching those teams. I want to see them fall over and fail, and I want to be there when it happens. You know what I mean? It's no fun to just read the the highlights and watch the highlights. But if I was sitting there for like 90 minutes and I watched them just lose, I'm enjoying myself because I enjoyed myself when that team played Chelsea. All right, that was the best.
Right.
Just sitting there watching it because it's the only game on, right? So you had not really much to do. So you sit there, you're watching, you're like, this is the best. Like you expect that team to go out there and win, and they look like they were going to. Then all of a sudden, you're like, when is it? When is Spursy time? You got Fergie time, now you got Spursy time.
Right, exactly.
A lot later this year.
We joke because Lolo had sent a message out to Najee on Sunday night or Monday saying that he was looking forward to Chelsea beating Spurs. And I had replied that, if I remember correctly, I believe that you have always wished that a giant hole open up and swallow the entire stadium and take both teams down. And I gotta say, that's kind of what happened.
Yeah, Bane. I'm all about Bane visiting all those teams. Get me a Bane sighting.
Scooby D2 says, I used to watch most anybody, though I would never want to watch the scum win, but now I rarely watch anybody but Leeds or a proper English game. I have not been watching football long enough to have a strong opinion one way or the other. And maybe it's because I'm so hungry to learn the game and learn the players and all the things that I watch anything, and I watch it with vigor and enthusiasm. Much to my wife's chagrin, I have now started watching Group Stage Champions League, and that is just adding 2 to 3 more games that I'm watching a week. And I've actually I just recently got access to cable. And now I'm looking at the Mexican League, which is like games at like 11 o'clock at night after my wife goes to bed. And I'm
come on.
I could watch the Mexican League. I don't know why.
Yeah, I know. I'm not that crazy. I'm not that
Someone please pop Mark's hate cherry. I'm not a hater, BX.
You're
not
describing me as a 9-year-old. I'd watch any football I could get. I'd read. There used to be a book, newspaper, News of the World, which don't exist anymore. It used to produce a yearly book where it basically just have the facts of football of the previous year, and I'd read it from like the first word to the last word, and I just wanted to like absorb everything about football.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like, oh, cool. So what else is on?
So do you watch MLS if you want to get all of, you can watch the best, but then you can also watch the MLS. So I assume you're watching MLS so you can see what it looks like when football is done wrong.
I've not quite gotten into American soccer
you're a soccer snob.
Say.
Got it.
I'm not saying I'm a snob. I've seen 1 or 2 matches over the years, and in particular them being the MSL team that Minnesota has been was awarded a few years back. An old friend of mine helped bring in the Loons to Minnesota, to Minneapolis, or actually I think they play up in Anoka, which is a far ring suburb. And then I have another friend that his company designed their logo. So I have some kind of Minnesota ties to that team. And I watched them. They signed Timo Werner, which I thought was a good pickup for a Minnesota team, being yeah, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I felt the product was kind of inferior.
You signed Timo Werner?
Oh, that's what I meant. Pookie. Sorry. Making mistakes. Just like the old days, folks. Making mistakes. Getting it wrong. Which is why you love me, I hope. Every once in a while I'll say something correct.
I thought he didn't go that badly for him at Chelsea, that he immediately had to be exiled to Minnesota.
Oh my God, it went horrible for Timo or for No, yeah, no. What are you saying, Tom? I'm confused. Who are we talking about?
I'm saying that for a footballer in the prime of his career, being sent to an expansion team in the Major League Soccer is like being exiled to Timbuktu in footballing terms.
Does Timbuktu have a football team?
I'll tell you right now. Let's have a look. Give me a minute, and
this is the nonsense football talk that you're going to get here, folks.
This is the nonsense part of the show. Zero facts, 100%, 100% nonsense. But speaking of somebody who knows their football, was raised on it. Gary, is it true? Did I read something that was true that we have seen the last of the trip of Don't Waste the Tweet? Because I thought I saw like a thumbnail that said last show.
No.
Is that the case?
So. No, I don't know what you saw, but no, none of that's happened. TT's not going away.
Let me see if I can just find it here while Mr. Tom
is he trying to cancel you?
I know. He's just bringing
I'm not trying to cancel
basically,
anybody.
So you had a chance.
I watch all these shows. I even watch the Fool Nelson, and I know fuck all about football.
The last show?
I know fuck all about football, but I know fuck all about wrestling. Let me see if I can find it. And I'll just throw it up on the screen.
There is a football team in Timbuktu called Al Farouk du Timbuktu.
There you
in
go.
the city.
And which league do they play in?
The Malian Premier League. Timbuktu is in Mali, in case anyone didn't know.
I just learned that.
Cool.
Hold on here. Let me see if I can find it.
Last show? No.
I swear to God.
We'll be on tomorrow. We'll be on Monday. And I've done some extra shows just whenever I felt like it. But
right.
We're not going anywhere. We'll be on tomorrow.
I dreamt it.
Probably on a little bit early tomorrow because Arsenal plays, and I just assume just do the watch along, do the show, and then do it together. So no.
Miami did not buy the MLS title with Messi. They were too far behind to eat. Basically, they didn't even qualify for the playoffs.
Yeah.
But they did win the new tournament that was introduced, the League Cup.
Yeah.
They did win that with him. To be fair,
the fact that he got injured playing that football, it's like, what? He didn't really even have to work. That's to tell you where he is in his footballing career. He can't make it through an MLS, not even a whole season, right? Because I think he came in mid-season or something, didn't he? Or
yeah. He came in when
he didn't play whole season.
They sacked the manager and then brought him in, which tells me they said to Lionel Messi, "Do you want to come play for us?" And he went, "Not while Phil Neville's the manager." To which Phil Neville was gone. He was gone quicker than you could say Phil Neville is gone.
As they were hanging up the phone to Messi, "Get Phil on the phone."
No, it was probably more like this. Hold on, Lionel. Mr. Neville, we're going to have to put you on the speakerphone here if you don't mind. We got some people here that need to hear this. You're fired. I don't know why people in Miami would speak with a Southern United States accent. But is David Beckham involved in Inter Miami, or is he just LA Galaxy? He is.
No, when he signed for LA Galaxy, he cleverly signed a deal which meant that he would get a fixed fee if he actually wanted to create his own team in the MLS. Let's say for argument's sake, it cost it. This was in 2006, so they went, if you want a team, you will need to pay us. I don't know the exact number, but it will be, for argument's sake, let's say you will have to pay us $40 million. The irony, the reason that was a great deal on his part was when it actually came time for him making a team, Minnesota United paid a lot more than $40 million to actually buy into the Major League Soccer.
Right. And I think one of the things that was a big attraction for Minnesota getting that expansion team was that they already had like a real state-of-the-art stadium already built, because it was one of those things where it's like there was I'm not sure about this, but I think it was a case of that that the Vikings or the Twins were going to move into it, and then at the last minute during construction, the contract didn't go through, and they were like, well, let's just finish it, and hey, I've got an idea. Let's make it a soccer field or a football field, and we will somehow fill it. But kudos to all the people involved to bring football to Minnesota, because they've embraced it very wholeheartedly. I have a lot of friends that gave up season tickets in baseball, basketball, football, so that they could watch MLS in a very, very far state. Like it is not close. It is a very outer ring suburb where this stadium is. But they do support very, very, very hard. All right. So where are we here? We've got, we're about almost an hour into, and we have talked about absolutely nothing. I am very thankful that Gary and Mr. Tom has joined me this evening, as I would be completely lost and out of things to talk about by about minute 6. So as always, thank you guys for joining us. Mr. Tom, who do we have in the cup today? I see you've got it looks like, is that a Marvel shirt or is that, I know that's the Hitman. I know that guy. Am I right? Is that the Hitman?
Yeah,
is that Bret Hart?
Yeah, instantly correct.
Part of the Hart Foundation?
Yeah.
I didn't mind Bret Hart, but man, his greasy locks just threw me off. And he always looked like he just got out of the shower, And it's like I just imagine like that like Adama Traore is just like rubbing his hands in Bret's hair and rubbing his arms
That's
down.
exactly what would happen. I imagine wrestling him would have been awful for that. As in, like, you grab him by the head and your hand would slip off immediately.
Right, exactly. Scooby D2 is wondering, where's Lolo and what happened last week? As I explained in the early part of the show, that we've been kind of busy and, can't always make it happen, but we love our Stoop crew and we're always going to make it happen when we can. Lolo is somewhere between Paris, Boston, Chicago, Brooklyn. I don't even know. He's racking up those miles. I haven't seen him since before he went to the North London Derby and the West Ham Euro game. And we just trade messages back and forth. No one can be the spokesman for Soul Glow except for the Soul Glow spokesman from the movie. Probably one of my favorite movies just for that spot alone. That and who's the guy? Randy Watkins and Sexual Chocolate. Absolutely one of my favorite films. But no, Lolo's been traveling and working his proverbial balls off, and I think like he got back today from Boston and he just needed some serious time with his children, with his wife, with his own apartment, his stoop. He may be on later, but I'm kind of not. I'm not banking on it, although he's probably listening right now and firing up the old Mac right now to say, "You suck, Mackenzie," which is my last name. If you didn't know, it's not Mark.
What your name isn't Mark?
No, it's not Mark. I'm actually thinking about changing it to Spawny, but James has the trademark on that, and I'm going to have to buy it from him. And he's not an easy man to negotiate. But anyway, we are getting almost exactly on that 1 o'clock hour. This old guy needs to relieve himself, so I think it is time to take that bio break. And in honor of my Wolves playing those Tottenham Spurs, who will not only have so many people not available. In fact, because of injury and suspensions, the Wolves have the Spurs have decided to go with 2 officials on the pitch. And with that said, we're going to roll an oldie but a goodie. If this is Lolo and Tottenham Sucks. We'll be back in just about 3 or 4 minutes to shine upon a light of betting in the dark, and then we'll talk about the upcoming weekend. So, Mr. Director, if you could roll that video.
Yo, it's been difficult. I gotta be honest. Not used to seeing Spurs fans happy. It's disheartening. At least I know. Tottenham sucks, Tottenham sucks. Don't care what you think, the Spurs suck. Tottenham sucks, Tottenham sucks. Don't care if the top of the league, the Spurs suck. I'm a gunner for life, so I can't let it rest. When I hear some silly fans screaming that the Spurs are best, so I just gotta put them back in their place and tell them to go and check out their trophy case. It's empty, filled with nothing but dust. Okay, maybe one trophy all covered in rust, but hey, it's a new day. You got yourself Jose, he iced out Dele like he was frozen. Ha! But that's cool, you got your boy back, Kurt Bale. Yep, he's alright. Weird that he couldn't get a sniff in Madrid, but played a lot of golf though. And I hear it all the time that the Gunners pass their prime and thinking that we're quality is an absolute crime. So before the comments start, let me do my part and tell y'all about my team straight from my heart. Yeah, Alba ain't been great, Pepe can't run straight, Willian is old and Xhaka is cut rate. Yet Ozil lost his job and Ceballos is a knob, and David Luiz looks like Sideshow Bob. That's cool, you know why? Cause I take freaking Gunnersaurus over any of them dirty Spurs. Alright, maybe Son, that boy good. But I still wouldn't ever trade my team for yours, even if you begged me down on all fours, saying, Lolo, come on, Lolo, come over. Motherfuckers, I'd rather support the Blackburn Rovers. And I'll always have a cannon on my crest, unlike y'all with the cock on your chest. And you may have a good season, straight out of luck, but one thing's never changing in my mind, that Spurs suck.
What do we think of Tottenham? Shit! What do we think of shit? Thank you!
Tottenham sucks, Tottenham sucks. Don't care what you think, the Spurs suck. Tottenham sucks, Tottenham sucks. Don't care if the top of the league, the Spurs suck. Tottenham sucks, Tottenham sucks. Don't care what you think, the Spurs suck. Tottenham sucks, Tottenham sucks. Don't care if the top of the league, the Spurs suck. Tottenham sucks, Tottenham sucks. Don't care what you think, the Spurs suck. Tottenham sucks, Tottenham sucks. Don't care if the top of the league, the Spurs suck. Tottenham sucks, Tottenham sucks. Don't care what you think, the Spurs suck. Tottenham sucks.
All right, well, that was the oldie and the goodie Tottenham Sucks, which I want to ask Lolo to maybe remake redo.
He needs an update.
There is nobody on that. I don't think there's anybody that he lists except for Son, who he says in the song that it's his, that he likes.
And Arsenal too, right? There's very, Is there anybody on the Arsenal squad that's in the video?
I don't think so.
But
Finger the Duck says Richarlison sucks. Maybe that should be. I could see Lolo actually creating a video that way that says that Arsenal sucks. Did we lose Gary? He's in there somewhere. He'll come back.
He's still here, but he'll come back. Yeah.
All right. So, as promised, we are back. We have Finger the Duck, and we've got Brett the Hitman Hart, but more importantly, we have Mr. Tom, and I think it is time, as we start the second hour, that we head into our beloved segment, Betting in the Dark.
Betting in the Dark with Mr. Tom.
Come on, love, place your bets.
And Don't forget, we all love Leeds. Sundays at 9 p.m.
That's right. That is right. And if you haven't tuned into this program, it is a very concise review and analysis of the the Leeds match. Who do you guys got this week? You had Leicester last week.
Plymouth Argyle.
Okay.
Pilgrims. And yes, they are a team.
That's who they're the Pilgrims.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
All right. Well, are they any good?
They got promoted last year from League One, so I don't want. I'm not going to dismiss anyone, okay? Because I know that will come back and bite you on your ass. But we should win comfortably.
So you're saying that they're good enough? They were good enough to get there.
Yes. Yeah. Like the reality is that we've dropped from the Premier League and they've dropped from the third tier. So they've come up from the third tier. I mean, to be fair though, Ipswich got promoted just behind them, and they're 8 points in front of us. So by no means is it a definite win tomorrow, but it should be a win tomorrow. I'm expecting a win tomorrow. That's not to dismiss Plymouth. I'm sure they're doing fine. I can't remember how they're doing, but I know they're not in the bottom three because we talk about the bottom three every week, and they're not here.
Yes, we do. Just don't be calling it in the crapper.
That's true. That's true. Actually, as soon as I said that, I thought, wait, am I unintentionally doing Mark's segment for the championship?
Right. You have to do it like in a room filled with bog rolls.
That's true. That's true.
Anyway, let's hear about what you got for this weekend.
I've got some good stuff for you this week, and basically, I'm on the bandwagon that Spurs are not going to immediately come back from their first setback of the season. I think they're still in the top four. You know, they've had a good start. I do think they're going to give Wolves problems, but again, they are Spurs, so I still think you're going to get a point. I do think it's going to be an all-Asian affair in terms of goal scoring. Is there a way to say that? That's not racial.
You know, actually, I've been reading in the press that there is a way to say it. It is the Korean Derby. That is what I've been reading in a number of news sources, that they are dubbing this the Korean Derby. Not racist at all.
Well, no, because I couldn't remember if Hee-chan was Korean.
They are both South Korean.
But then as soon as that got said, I realised that Pep called him the Korean one. And that came back to bite him on the arse.
He didn't say Korean one. He said the Korean guy. Like,
worse.
I felt... I laughed when I saw that presser before the match, and then I was like so angry when Hee-chan scored, when Number Wang scored, that I was like, that motherfucker knows his name now.
True, but I think Tottenham's expansive game that they're gonna, because from what we know of Big Ange, he's not gonna turn up to try and get a 1-0 win at Wolves, is he? He's gonna double down on his 7-man defensive high line. So he's gonna come out, which will give Wolves the opportunity to be more adventurous than they usually are, and hopefully a high-scoring contest, an uncharacteristically high-scoring contest for Wolves.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say that anytime they score 2, it is a high-scoring affair. I do like this bet. It certainly falls in line with the manner in which Wolves are playing, where they are playing well against some of the better clubs. This is at home, but I just I wonder when that whistle comes in. and awards a dodgy penalty, or there's a dodgy red card that gets thrown out there, because it would just be consistent. You know, I cry that officials are not consistent, but in penalizing and calls that are detrimental to the Wolves, they are certainly consistent. At this point, we should probably roll the video where Lolo is crying. But I'm not sure about He-Chan scoring first, because I got the feeling that maybe Son would score first, but I would take this bet, especially
pays a lot less if you do it in the reverse.
There he is. There's our friend Lolo giving me that I'm being a crybaby, because I cry every fucking week.
I did initially do it the other way around. It pays less, but also I think if Son scores first, then it won't be 2-2.
No, it most certainly wouldn't. But I do like this bet, and folks, if you are in the betting mood, while we do not encourage you to take your hard-earned money and bet on good football, this would be a good one to take. I do think the Wolves get a point.
What I will suggest, though, is I'm not going to tell people to actually bet on these, but I will say there are two individuals here that actually bet on something I suggested, and they both won cash money. As in, the guy above me and the guy below me both took my suggestions and basically were like, they were millionaires by the Sunday.
I was a hundredaire, but I modified your bet a little bit. Your first score, I don't know who it was, and I said that Rashford was going to score first, and having a first scorer was my own interpretation, but you definitely nailed the score, and you nailed the last goal scored. And it was funny because if I remember the game correctly, there was two Arsenal players that were going in slides to the ball, and the ball scores. And I got on the text, and I in very loud letters screamed, "Who got the goal?" Because there was a chance that it didn't necessarily go to Tom's favorite player, Eddie Nketiah.
As soon as I saw it, I was just like, Eddie's got this. Of course, the ball just stuck to Eddie like glue. It was fine.
Exactly.
Was fine. But yeah, so it was a good Sunday. It was a good Sunday.
Gary, what do you think of this bet?
I like to see it because it'll make you happy.
It would definitely make me happy,
and then it'll make the other team not so happy. So I will take this any day, anytime you're happy. In a situation like this, I'm happy. So I think this will be
everyone wins.
Yes, everybody wins. Yes, you'll be happy because I think every point will help going as the season moves on, and when if Ange finally decides to adjust and not just play our style of football just because we can. I always believe that the best managers will take what they've got and get the best out of them, as opposed to just push them into a hole that doesn't fit and say, yeah, get it done. So we shall see what he does. He'll be on the road, and depleted team. And you guys
depleted team.
And you guys should be looking to take advantage of that, because not only are they might have better quality players still coming in, but they haven't played, and this is going to be a lot of pressure based on how the last game went. So, you can do a kind of, that's where you can get that first goal. We've seen it, right? He-Chan can wait for one of those mistakes that happens that you don't expect to happen and take advantage of it like he did against Arsenal, right? So, I've seen him do that. So, yeah, a little mistake here or there in the back, and
I'm hoping for one for the taking. But I'm going to go with Bremner's Ghost here, and I'm going to say that what are the odds of Wolves getting robbed by VAR again?
No point even betting on it.
I don't think you can bet on that. But
if you could, you won't win much.
I do see it coming, especially if the Wolves are, I don't know, man. I'm tired of talking about that. Tom, what's next? What do you got next for us?
What I have next is, now this is very specific. But I've got a feeling Newcastle are going to win a tight game out on the coast. Almiron's going to get the goal. Livramento's going to assist it. And you're going to turn 1 into 300 ones.
Really? I do. Those are some really good odds. And I did like what I saw from Livramento when he came in. Who did he come in for against Arsenal? Somebody in an injury, right?
He's a solid player, and obviously they're bringing him back into the fold after he had a bad injury. Yeah. But if they can get the potential out of him, he's going to be getting many an assist. I only need one of them from him tomorrow.
There you have it. Gary, what do you think of this?
I still feel like Newcastle is better than this, but they just. Yeah, and I guess what they did lose, right? They're going to redeem themselves. So I have a feeling they're on the road. Yeah, it's probably a good score on the road for them. I think they're much better at home. This might be yeah. I like this one. I like this one. Even though I wouldn't be surprised if they went out and just blew them away because they have that in them.
They should, but I don't think they will. What I will say about Newcastle, I think it's worth saying, is their form. Some may say their form has been a bit ropey, but that's because they're not used to playing 2 games a week. When it settles into the winter period, I know we're approaching the winter period, but I mean when you're just that 2-3 months where you're only playing domestic football, they're gonna start putting together some results, and they'll string them together. I still think they'll get through this one in particular. They'll scrape through it. But in general, you look for them to get some wins over December, January time.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, I like this bet. I would take it. You know, it's a high risk. Almiron not exactly in the best of form, but you never know. Bournemouth, they do ship a lot of goals. So, but the odds taking 1 and turning into 331. That's I'm putting a single on this. Absolutely. Absolutely. Get me some of that Mr. Tom money.
Yeah, I'll bring a 5 for that.
I wanna put the crown back on. Get that cigar out of the fridge.
I'll be shocked if it does happen, obviously. But I'll be excited.
I'm always shocked on the show.
Yeah, the surprise. I think the surprise at Arsenal and the way they played in Champions League, they're probably want to get out of that funk and play some better football. So that's why it'd be hard to see this be the scoreline. So yeah, it's a good bet, but I don't know. There you go. That's what it could look like.
There I was that day. You too can wear the crown by putting $1 on this bet.
If you bet against me, you'll be a poor man. But if you bet with me, you'll be rich overnight.
You too can be 100-aire.
100-aire.
But seriously, don't do it just because I'm saying like do what you'd usually do if you do that sort of thing. Right, on a slightly more responsible bet, in my opinion. I think Man City are going to blow them away tomorrow night, Sunday evening. They're going to blow them out of the water.
Tom, is this the last match of the week?
It is because
I've been watching because of your claim that the last match of the week is always a high-scoring affair, and since I've been taking note, you have not been wrong.
It's not even my opinion. It's statistical facts. The Sunday 4:30 in English time, 4:30 p.m. slot yields more goals on average than any other time slot. But to be fair, that will also be because the teams they generally select to play those matches it'll be Man City versus someone. It'll be Man City versus Liverpool. Or basically Chelsea will always play Man City on a Sunday Like you know what I mean? Like when do Man United not play Arsenal on a Sunday evening?
Right.
Well, for you guys, it'd be Sunday morning, but you know what I mean. The floodlights come on. But basically, I think this is a good time for Haaland to notch a couple. Alvarez is always good for one, and I think that can happen. You can turn you can win back your losings when Livramento doesn't get the assist tomorrow.
And I gotta tell you, I've been losing a lot lately, but it's been kind of hurt, or I've been hurt because I always I'll put together like a 10-game parlay, and I'll get all but one, and it's always the Newcastle game that always steers me wrong. Newcastle, I've placed like a 9-team parlay, get them all correctly. This has happened to me 3 times this season. And the Newcastle match is the one that I get wrong. And this is like I could have won like $3,000-$4,000. And it's just to be that close and always have the same team burn me.
This might upset you, Mark, but in England, you'd get your dollar back.
No shit.
Yeah.
That doesn't upset me.
I'm not going to name my company. I'm not going to name my company, but let's say, for example, if you do genuinely get one loser on your 9-team parlay, you will get a free bet for the value of your parlay.
That is crazy.
Huh.
So anytime. No, not anytime. I'm actually putting in this goal right now, or this bet right now. So bear with me as I get
in
all
England,
of this right.
It would be listed as Haaland to score 2 or more, but obviously for the purpose of this bet, you just need him to specifically score 2. But that's what it would actually be on the website.
In the States, this one will win you at the current odds. In the States, using FanDuel, this a single dollar will win you $105. And I'm taking this bet because I like it. I like it a lot. The only thing that would worry me is the correct score, but that's always a shot in the betting in the dark. But I'm still taking it, and you should too. Not that we condone that sort of thing.
I'd never condone that sort of thing. I'd never. Some weeks I don't even do my own pick. No, that's not true. That's not true. I always have a small amount on it, obviously, just on the off chance.
Mark, how much do you get?
It would be 105 on a single dollar bet using FanDuel, the unofficial sponsor of the On the Stoop with Lolo. We're actually sponsored by another betting site that I never use. I don't know. Is it Betting 365? If you guys are watching, we're very sorry. Don't take away our sponsorship. Not that we get anything out of the deal.
Right.
But
96.06 pounds equals $117.42.
Well, I'm just going by what I just put it in myself.
Gotcha.
Get your official On the Stoop with Lolo
cell phone service.
Cell phone service, which is
to be fair.
England.
Wow.
To be fair to Mark, I did submit this last night, so I actually done this not maybe 24 hours ago, and notoriously the odds do lower nearer the time of the match. So.
Right, exactly. BX Gunner says this could be a draw. I think you need to put down that wacky tobacco because no, I'm sorry.
No, let's be fair to BX. He's right in that out of the 3 possible outcomes, a draw is one of them. It could be a draw.
It could be a draw.
The sentence is correct. I don't think it will be.
Highly unlikely that this is a draw. I think that any luck that might be going the way of Chelsea this season was all spent and will not be renewed until the winter break. So that is betting in the dark. Bet responsibly, be lucky, and And please let us know next week if you got anything, maybe even your own bets, and not our. Maybe you're betting on Taylor Swift to win Artist of the Year at the Grammys. Who knows? Let us know what you're doing and how you do it, and how you will spend your ill-gotten earnings.
I would like to say, sorry, I will say this, and then obviously I'll shut up, and then Gary can give us loads of Arsenal stuff and all this. I'm not mocking him, just saying.
I'm not mocking you, but I am mocking you.
Gary, we're never mocking you.
Oh, Gary, you know you're my favourite. You know you're my favourite. Anyway,
we've missed you, and when you have time with the family, we're sad because we're your family too.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I do miss
you
guys.
You don't have to pick us up at school.
Right.
Go ahead, Mr. Tom.
My one thing about the betting in the dark that I missed in the summer was, obviously, don't get me wrong, it was nice on Thursday night not having to do it, because it takes time to lay it out a specific way and all this. But the previous summer, I was finding really random things to be picking the betting on. And I know John was a massive fan when I discovered you could bet on fishing. and we did Fishermania 24 or something like that. I can't remember what. But
that is hysterical, Tom.
Yeah, that was a good one. What was the other? There was another one you did too.
We did the hot dog eating contest, the 4th of July hot dog.
Yeah, I remember that. And I do remember the fishing now. Now, in retrospect, I do remember the fishing bet, and I probably relayed the same story that I my brother lives in Minnesota, and I called him up a long time ago. I was in town, and called him up to let him know I was in town, and hey, yeah, let me take you to lunch. Let's go have some beers. Let's hang out. Let's catch up. And he's like, oh, dude, I'm watching fishing. I lost out to fishing on TV. Thank you very much, folks.
Yeah, you know where you stand.
Oh, good Lord.
Maybe he just doesn't like you.
I know exactly.
No, he definitely. Apparently, he does.
He does not.
He does not. But there's plenty of people. I hope there's a few of you Stoop crews.
There's other fish in the sea
that deal with me. And go, that's Spawny. He's okay. So that was betting in the dark. Again, bet responsibly. I know I don't, and that's why I've blown all my winnings in just a short year, because it was about a year ago that I hit it big. You guys got anything to add before we look toward the future week? The upcoming matches starting tomorrow at 7:30 with my Wolves taking on the Hot Spurs at 7:30 in the morning, which makes it like, what is that, noon? Is that noon in England? Noon 30?
Thank you, John.
Is it?
Sorry, Mr. Garside, I meant to say.
Yeah. Yes.
I think that if there was an opportunity for Wolves to beat Spurs at home, this is the one. Completely depleted squad, 2 on suspensions with Romero and Udogie, both starters. They lose Van de Veer to injury. They lose James Maddison to injury. James Maddison, I didn't think his injury was that bad. He is out until January. Pedro Perro was limping around the pitch. There's no Richarlison. He recently had surgery. It is going to be the Son show, or the, as we said earlier today, the Korean derby. Again, if there's an opportunity, this is the opportunity to take. I don't see it happening because I just don't trust the officials, and I really do believe that there's going to be yet another for the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. I don't know. We've gotten 4 apologies. We're 10 games in. That's 40% of our matches have been apologized for by the league. I don't know what that means, but let's hope that the Wolves can do this. I know Tom said a Desmond I think Dawson is going to put the Erling Haaland treatment on Son, and I think we score goals in this one, and I think it's 2-0 Wolves.
You know what? All I have to, the one thing you have to do on these matches, especially this one, with all the craziness going into it, you gotta have to come out really fast, and then hold on, because they will come back. We've seen them come back. It doesn't matter what the case is, and just allow them to at least, get back to some of their old ways. It'll be a tough one, but you need to I think you need to get ahead. I'll be surprised you come and get the point as opposed to hold on to the point. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So any team that plays it this time, you have to come out fast, because the team you're playing it's been like Liverpool, and I've always woken up and like, oh, I'm smiling, and then by the last 30 minutes, you're like, oh man, this thing's over. So it's important that you do like who. Outside of He-Chan, who else is gonna score? Who else can score?
I think there's a lot of people that can score. I mean, unfortunately, to lose Pedro Neto for the short term. Hopefully he's back after the international break. But Cunha can score. In the set pieces,
that guy should. You know what? There's two things. He should either have goals or have a lot of assists, because I've seen many a time he's done all this hard work. He lays the ball off, and you're like, come on, guys, you got to bring. Yep. He's doing all he can. He's killing himself out there, and you got to put this ball away, like that Manchester United game, right? He did everything he can. He couldn't get a goal in himself, but he did set up a couple of his teammates.
I'm just gonna finish. I'm gonna finish this by saying that it is mind-boggling. It's borderlining on preposterous that this has been an issue of not being able to finish for 2.5 seasons. It is just, how long can you just keep missing these gimmies? And so I'll just leave it at that. Tom, do you have anything that you want to add to this match? I know that you highlighted it on Betting in the Dark.
No, I'll just be repeating myself with all due respect, so won't waste your time.
You don't like listening to yourself? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
No, that's actually true. I've never listened to any of my shows back, so no, I don't like listening to myself. Quite frankly.
I'm barely on this show right now. All right, Arsenal is going to host Burnley, a very, very bad team. I'm going to turn this over to you, Gary. Please go ahead. What's your thoughts on this match?
We need to respond. We need to continue with the run that we just, playing against Sevilla the way we did. I expect to see the same thing. We may not have Saka, but I don't think that matters. Oh, look at John. What is up with this, dude?
Actually, he thought this was the Family Feud.
No, I think Arsenal should come out and they should be able to get the win. I'm hoping for a clean sheet, but you never know with our team. But people are like saying maybe Havertz will score because he did take a nice shot in the last game. And those are like
against Sevilla.
Those are like the silver linings. Now he does something good once or twice in a match. I'm like, no, he needs to be like, damn, he could have had a hat trick kind of thing. That's what we should be talking about, as opposed to he almost got it on target. You know what I mean? So
right,
he deserves to play in the sense that we need to figure out what we can get out of him this season. I personally think we'll have to wait till next season to see the real him. But we should be able to come out there and get a game. I think it'd be nice if we can rest some of our players going into the international break. But we'll see how we do. But it'd be nice to go in, blow them away, and then rest our guys like Rice and whoever else is going on international break.
Right.
So I think 3-0 for me.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I think that's very plausible. Mr. Tom, your thoughts on the match?
I think I heard someone say earlier in the week that, I can't remember who, but said, I've got a big game against Burnley at the weekend. I don't think Burnley fans would call a match against Burnley a big match. but I appreciate the sentiment. No, I'll be shocked if there was anything but a comfortable Arsenal win. Maybe, you know what? I'm gonna be generous to Burnley, 3-1 to Arsenal.
Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, Arsenal gets the clean sheets, but you know, I think more maddening for me is that in a lot of these blowout victories, they lose their focus and give up the clean sheet. I do see that happening with Burnley. I do see them scoring one, but I don't. From what I've seen from Burnley, has not been quality. I actually think Arsenal scores 5, and I'm going to go 5-1 Arsenal. I don't know where the goals come from because Arsenal they're injured. We don't know, is Saka going to play? Is Trossard going to start? Does Nketiah play? You know, do they rest and you know, I don't see Arteta looking at Burnley and saying these guys are very poor. I'm gonna rest some of these players because they've been playing a lot and they're gonna head into the international break, and Arsenal does have a lot of players that play internationally. But no, I think Burnley is absolutely terrible. I feel for it's Vincent Kompany, right? He's the manager.
Yep.
I feel for him because there's just something very likable about him. He does seem like a player's coach, but I think talent-wise, he's completely overmatched.
Yep. I'll take all those goals. I would take.
Yeah, I do think so. Crystal Palace and Everton. Ben Ireland's favorite team in the Premier League. He loves him some Everton. But Crystal Palace injured. Is this one that Everton can come along and steal, Mr. Tom?
I hope not. No, I hope not. Sorry. I'm trying to think of a descriptor to show my dislike of Everton. I'm not a fan.
You don't like them.
I don't like them at all. They're cheats. They're in the Premier League at my team's expense. Some are going to say, "Oh, you did it yourself because you didn't get the points." It's like, no, that's factually right. But at the same time, maybe if we'd have spent 200 million more than we did, then maybe we might have had a player that would have got us the required number of points. But anyway, fuck Everton, fuck Jack Harrison for going there, fuck Sean Dyche with his bald fucking head, fucking present company accepted. Fuck Roy Hodgson, even though I hope he fucking turns them over, but he won't because Roy Hodgson's only useful in situations where I don't need him to be. So basically, this is going to be 0-0 and it's going to be atrocious. And it's going to be so bad they will go last on Match of the Day because even the BBC won't want to show it.
Right.
Fuck them. Fuck them both.
Gary, thoughts on the Eagles versus Toffees?
Yeah, as Mr. Tom said, yuck. I mean, Crystal Palace is coming in, I think, with a win, right? So it could be interesting, but nah, nobody cares about this one. This is I forgot one. Mr. Tony has a name for these types of games. Nobody cares, and he says it in a much dirtier way, but. Yeah, I don't think anybody cares what's going to happen this game. I think 0-0 sounds about right. It's snooze fest, and everybody will be looking at the other matches, if not Arsenal. So
fair enough. And there's quite a bit in this one, or in this time slot at 10 a.m. There's Arsenal and there's obviously Man United for those that give two shits about Man United. And actually, at my local bar, there is someone who is a Luton boy, so I'm sure he'll be rooting for his hometown team. As far as I'm concerned, rooting for Luton. I like that. I want a T-shirt that says "Rooting for Luton." Crystal Palace, Everton. My thoughts on the matter. look, I get, I get the hatred for Everton, especially with the, the was it the PPL? Is that it? They're looking to have like a big points deduction this season. If that's definitely the case, Leeds should have been the one staying up, and Everton should have gone down last season.
Oh no, Leicester would have stayed up. Or
somebody would have stayed up, and things would have been different. But they're not. This is what we're having here. Mr. Tom, you mentioned fuck Jack Harrison. He had a very good game last week. I was super impressed. He's been injured. He finally comes off the bench and gets on the pitch, and he was put in some very, very positive minutes. I think that continues. I think Dyche has this team playing well. Their record is slowly starting to show it as they are moving themselves away from that relegation line. Crystal Palace hurt, and then more injuries. I want to say that like somebody, Eze has been hurt, but he got hurt again in training. I really like what I've seen with Everton so far, and I'm going 2-1 Everton. I think Crystal Palace gets one, but Dyche gets one over Hodgson, and I like Roy. I like him because somebody like on the pitch bumped into him, and Roy gave him a bunch of shit for it. He actually stood up to the dude, and I was like, right on, man. That was cool to see. So next we've got Man United and Luton. For those of you that might be rooting for Luton, hey man, maybe you'll get your chance. I think Luton plays better at home. Don't know why. Because it's funny to watch a Luton game when they play at home because it's just the one camera angle, and it's a wide shot. From what I can see, but I love the fact that the fans sit so close to the action, so close to the pitch when they are home. This is one that Luton could steal, but I think Man United at home and everything that they're dealing with, I think they still need these victories, and I think they do get one at home, despite the fact that Rashford is not very, very much in form, and that they've got weird selection in the back with why Maguire still starts. I have no idea. Why Johnny Evans starts. I have no idea. But yeah, I think this is going to go 2-1 Man United. Tom?
I think it's got Luton scores first and everyone goes insane. And then Man United just grind them down and win 3-1, written all over it. It'll be 2 or 3 late goals. That'll like it. If it was the match was described via a clickbait article, it would be late goals break Luton's hearts.
You should be a scribe. And there we have the 11, 12-man team of Man United, all clones of Harry Maguire.
I want madness. I want, like I said, everybody loses but Arsenal and Wolves. So
okay, we love that.
I want madness. I am gonna have to go, but yeah, no.
All right. Before you go, Gary, I want to throw one question at you both, and that's the issue of Erik ten Hag. Is his time done with United, or does he still have a little bit of credit in heaven? God knows why. Based on last season, I guess, he did get them to a top 4 finish. But this year, it's not going well.
Yep.
Is he at risk of being sacked? Gary, since you got to go, I'll throw it at you first.
Yeah, please.
I would say yes, because I expected to see something looked like football from the. I believe I expected to see him be a tacticianer and a good coach and a good manager, and all of that to be played out as opposed to like what we're seeing now. I think they just don't look like a team that's properly managed and coached, and I thought he would be able to get more out of them. What I coming from where he came from, I think I expected a lot better from what he was going to do with that team, no matter who he played. The fact that, as you said, he's playing a center back pairing that I think people hadn't seen in like 16 years or something like that. When before they got into the big clubs. So yeah, I think I don't think I think he took on a really big job and he's failing. And that's the bad part about it. They need fixes yesterday, right? They need to see growth every day. Everything about what he's doing is not getting them to that spot. And, I don't think he's doing a good job. I just think they once again have not found either the manager that can at least deal with their bull, their BS kind of thing, however they're going to plan their work. And then give them a reason to actually listen to him. You know what I mean? I don't think there's anything he can say that could get them to do what he wants now, I think, because he's not even doing the little things right. And I believe he would have been more of like a detailed type guy. So, but as some people said, 10 more years. I like what he's doing to the squad. As somebody would say, one of my friends would say, he's doing a good job. Keep it up. Keep it up. We want more of this. But it's at some point you get like you stop you can't laugh at your rivals as much sometimes because it's like you keep doing the same thing every time. You're not even doing new stuff.
Right.
It just looks the same. It's just another day, and it's like, come on, can you at least give me something like I want to see you fail big, not have it taken away like you fail big as opposed to like, oh, you can blame it on the referees and this and that kind of thing. Like
sure.
Like their Champions League game. So yeah,
we've seen off multiple managers on this show. In the time that this show has existed, we've seen off multiple Manchester United managers, and nothing has changed.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, exactly. Before I throw this question over to Mr. Tom, I just want to say, what's up, Lolo?
Yes.
Welcome back from
good night, Gary.
Boston, Chicago, Paris, the basement, wherever you are these days. Yeah. Thanks for popping in.
All right, John. Thank you. Everybody will see you. I'll see you tomorrow if you're around.
All right, Gary. We'll see you, man. Thanks for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
We'll probably be on an hour early just because Mr. Tom likes to get up early. Oh wait, he's like 5 hours ahead of me, but you know what I mean.
There's no point starting the show at the start of the second half of all the football. We might as well start the show at the start of the first half. Mysteriously.
Exactly.
All right, guys. Thank you, everyone.
All right, thanks, Gary.
Joining us.
Yep. Mr. Tom, your thoughts on Erik ten Hag and whether or not?
Oh, whatever he's doing, long may it continue. Like the reason I won't be that disappointed if they do win tomorrow, right? And I know that's sacrilegious to say as a Leeds fan, and all the Leeds fans in the comments could be like, I can't. Is that I need them to get the occasional win to prolong him in the job, because long term he is not going to be successful for them. Or he's unlikely to be successful for them. But if they sack him now and they get their new manager bounce now, it could lead to success. And I don't want that to happen. It's like it got funnier the longer Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was in the job and weren't getting sacked for it. And then when they got beat 4-2 at home to Watford or something like that, and then they did sack him, it was like, oh, I didn't think they'd actually do it, or like I didn't want them to actually sack him because,
Right.
Hey Tom, I have a question. How are the mighty Leeds United doing?
Keep that rolling. I need a bio break.
I'm glad you asked, John. Leeds United are currently sat in third position. It's not, unfortunately, because Ipswich at 1 point to Ipswich.
Oh, they played on Tuesday, right?
Yeah, it was 2-2 draw. No problem. It's no problem. It was 2-2 draw anyway. So we are 8 points behind Ipswich, 9 behind. Oh, 10 behind Leicester. Forget that. 10 behind Leicester. Yeah. 11 behind Leicester. Yeah. Sorry.
How's those math lessons in the UK doing? Not
good. Very well, obviously, and yet they still gave me a job where my primary role is calculating things. But so there's a lot of people out there with the wrong change. Anyway, so it's always good to see you smile, John. It's usually at my expense, and did change. But no, I think we're doing all right. I believe Scooby D2 mentioned where's the Leeds talk. It's like we did an hour of it on Sunday.
Exactly.
That's right.
It's why I'm not in such a rush anymore to be like, oh, let's get the Leeds talking for Leeds. Like we've got an hour of our own show on Sunday.
Wait a second. Look who just jumped in.
Oh my goodness. Who is this guy?
Who is this
What
guy?
happened to his hair?
What happened to the hair? What happened to everything? What's up, guys?
What's going on, Italy Jet?
What's going on?
All
Everyone
right,
good?
so everything is good. We've had a pretty good show so far. You just missed Gary.
Shout out.
So, Mr. Director, can we jump to the there we go.
Yeah.
West Ham is getting Nottingham Forest. What is your thoughts there?
I think it's going to be 2-1 West Ham. 2-1 West Ham.
Care to expand upon that? We got 9 minutes to kill.
I like the way Moyes has been putting out his lineup lately, and I have this gut feeling. I think Bowen's going to score. I think Paquetá is going to assist Kudos for a goal, and I like the way Ariel has been playing. I think it's going to carry over to the Europa League. I know we sat him out. I don't know if Fabianski played that game. I just have all kinds of confidence in it right now. Hopefully we get the result. I'll be with Brawley. I'm hanging out with Brawley on Sunday morning.
Oh, fantastic. How's he doing?
He's doing great.
Brawley?
Yeah.
Brawley, I talked to. He was going to come on tonight, but
today
is his 5th anniversary.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And he has a newborn too.
Newborn.
Yeah.
And that's his show.
Yeah. And so we have a St. Louis Hammers group that we get together every week, and we go down to it's called Amsterdam Tavern. It's on the hill, and we get together and watch games. All kinds of supporters groups go on there and have fun, drink, and either cry or yell together. Whatever happens with any of these games.
Where is it?
So it's called Amsterdam Tavern. It's a bar out at the end of the hill.
Of where?
St. Louis, Missouri. Yep,
nice.
And it's near the city.
Okay. You're going to have to send the link to that.
Oh, fantastic.
You're not got enough social media apps there, Gino.
That's the proper one, right?
Are you on enough of them, or you just on one?
No, I was just thinking. Like, I like all the symmetry of it, but I was wondering if there were any others that I'm not
missing
thinking
TikTok because I don't like TikTok, so I'm not on TikTok.
If you turn this graphic around, there's some on the back.
I love it. But what do you guys think about your teams this weekend? How do you think you guys are gonna do?
I think, off the bat, I think West Ham are actually going to win 2-0. I think you'll comfortably beat Nottingham Forest. As we've established, I think Wolves Tottenham's going to be a draw. I think Leeds are going to comfortably beat Plymouth. We should that's no disrespect to Plymouth. Just with our standing and their standing, we should if we want to get promoted back into the Premier League, we need to breeze past Plymouth. Right. And if we don't, then we don't deserve to be in Premier League. Simple as that. But
hey, makes sense.
Hey John, you beat me to the punch. I was just about ready to ask you to throw up that after hours link so that all y'all can join us if you are interested. He is definitely the best in the business, and we are lucky to have him. Although a lot of you guys try and hijack him for your
definitely
shows.
do, because he's the best in the business,
and you should, because he is best in the business, and
I go to the highest payer. Still
damn.
Still waiting.
So waiting. What is 0% of zero?
Hey John, are they just paying you in Amazon gift cards?
No, the Prince of Nigeria.
Don't you know by now? We've been doing this for 3 years. We pay John in insults.
Oh, hey, then he's in the right show. He's in the right show then.
I've been in contact with that Prince in Nigeria, so he set me up.
He's been turning your insults into cougarans.
He's like, 54 million. It's coming to me, but I just have to keep giving him money. I don't know.
All right.
One day.
Yeah, one day.
So we are winding down in the last 4 minutes of the show. Again, we have found that.
Hello.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Look at this clown.
Lolo.
Yo.
Go ahead, go ahead and just call us out there.
It's fine.
What's going on, everybody?
Hello.
We've been doing good. We've been missing you.
Yeah, man. I feel like my computer is trying to catch up right now. I've been trying to get on for a while right now, for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But I've been listening to you guys. Thank you guys for covering. Hell of a job tonight, Mark, Mr. Tom, Gary, and Italy Jet. Good to see you, man.
Good
with
to
your
see
more
you, man.
Italian haircut.
Something like that.
Just cutting out from everybody. I don't know. I can't hear anybody.
you're still.
Yeah. It was just you on.
I'm gonna refresh my page.
Yeah, it was just him on, and then everyone cut out. It was just you blasted.
I wasn't talking. I was just watching in amazement.
All right. So anyway, Lolo is going to reboot, and then he'll be on in the after hours. And while I don't think we have enough time to cover the rest of the table or the fixtures for tomorrow and Sunday, I'm just let's put it out there. What's the upset of the week? Where is it? Italy. We'll start with you.
I think it's Molyneux.
Or Tom.
Sorry, it's rude of me. Sorry, Italy Jet.
No. Italy Jet. What's your upset of the week?
Oh my gosh. I'm looking. Oh man. You know what? I'm gonna go Wolves over Spurs.
Given their lineup possibilities, I'm not sure that's exactly an upset, but I'll take it.
You know what? Hey, I'm trying to represent you a little bit, Mark.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. I don't get a lot of props here from my club, but the only props I get is the pity party, because we get fucked every week. We get pity fucked every week.
Yeah, well, hey, even if you do, sharing the love. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, Mark.
If you're getting fucked every week, it doesn't matter why.
Mark, no, I feel for you guys tomorrow, because I feel like Spurs are actually they've had some really key injuries right now, and you guys, for the most part, surprisingly, Wolves have been surprisingly consistent all season long. Like you
consistently on the wrong end of the calls,
and that too. And you know who has been consistently on the right side of the calls is fucking Spurs. You can say, how are you going to say they've been on the right side of the calls? They had 2 red cards. They had 2 red cards that should have been red cards earlier in the match.
Well, I mean, yes, with Romero, sure, with Udogie. And that was a double yellow, and one of them was a kind of a time wasting protest, sort of. I believe, which that's a whole nother topic.
I'm sorry. I'm diving in with a 2-footed tackle, 2-footed tackle, studs up like that.
That was the second
that's
yellow.
A red card.
That's a red card. That's not a yellow. That's
I don't know. I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to dive
He's
that
red. It's
deep,
a straight red.
but, maybe we can save that for a little bit later. Mr. Tom, very quickly, what is your upset of the week?
Well, I'm going to say Wolves. I based on, and I say it's an upset based on the league placings. But just to because generally the Sunday games, with the exception of Man City, are all going to be home wins. Yeah. I expect comfortable win for Villa, comfortable win for Brighton, comfortable win for Liverpool, comfortable win for West Ham, and then Man City are going to blow Chelsea back to Todd's bank account. How much can they fleece it for?
Right.
Amen.
Lolo, what do you have? What's your upset of the week?
My upset of the week. If look, you could say I'm boo-hooing about refs, but I haven't mentioned Arsenal at all. I'm talking about the shittiness of the referees all around, and nobody can say that they've been fantastic this season. So I'm just saying Spurs have benefited from a lot of those decisions, which is why I can't pick Wolves to upset them. I think Wolves will play very well and could possibly eke out a win, but Spurs will get a penalty in the last minute that's undeserved and draw or win. So I'm going to go with day 2, and I'm going to go with Chelsea upsetting Man City because they tend to play better against the better teams, and Pochettino will come at Pep the same way, in a similar fashion as the way he came up against Arteta, which was just a little bit baffling in the way that he set up and the way that he went about things, and he might have some success there. And Man City right now, as good as they are, they're susceptible to giving up the odd goal here and there, and Chelsea, fucking Jekyll and Hyde team though. Not to mention, I would really like for that to happen. So
amen.
Well, but I agree with Tom. The rest of Sunday looks an all left-sided affair.
Yeah, I'm looking at this. I'm looking at the fixture, and I could point to Everton maybe putting together something against a very, very injured Crystal Palace, but I don't think that is an upset enough.
No, it's not.
So I'm going to go with a team that is going to. I think they're going to take care of business against a team that they're a Jekyll and Hyde one day of the week or 1 week to the next. And I'm going to go with Fulham beating Aston Villa. Aston Villa wins 1 week and they lose the next, and they can't string a bunch of games together.
Consistency. Yeah.
Consistency is the key here. And every week I go, Villa won that one. They lost that one. I don't know. So in this case, I'm going with Fulham, who desperately need a win, and they're going to do it on the road. I think they catch Villa napping. So that's my upset of the week. Again, everybody, we have put the link in the comments. You can all join us in our very exquisite conversation of the after hours. But that's our show. Lolo has joined us late. Hopefully next week he will be here to run us all off. Mr. Director, thank you for all your hard work with the graphics. Oh, shit.
Before we go, I have a little side thing.
Oh, please.
I'm trying to help a family out in the Philippines. So there's the link. It's a Give, Send, Go. And they're really having a tough time of it. So just go to that website, donate $5, $2, $3, $1, a pound, whatever. A bunch of you already have.
Is his name Lolo?
It's Lolo in it's Tagalog. It's grandpa.
Oh, okay.
So it's their father. They kind of named the farm after their father.
Gotcha.
That's awesome. I mean,
because I was like, wow,
sucks that that's happening.
Donate Lolo's farm.
And that was like in 2007 they named it that. So
okay.
So it's me who copied them.
So if y'all have a few bucks laying around, or as Sally Fields would say, or no,
Sally Field with the
Sally
$1.
Struthers, as Sally Struthers would say, for the price of a cup of coffee. Oh, Archie. Please send some
but John,
money to help
John, copy that
rebuild.
link and put it in the comment.
Yeah,
so people can click it.
Yeah.
If you can, please do. This family is very important to one of our own, and therefore should be important to you as well. We'll wait for John to throw that link into the comments.
Yeah, the money you were going to give to my beer fund, I can
exactly
for a week. Give it to Lolo's farm.
You can let it go for a week because you're not a big drinker, Tom.
I'm really not. I had Pepsi tonight, so.
So there you go. The link is in there. Please, for the price of a cup of coffee, help this family out. Italy Jet, Mr. Tom, and of course Lolo and Director John. Thank you for all your hard work for making this all happen. Join us in the after hours, but in the meantime, John, please play us out.
I think I will.